I have an updated strategy for destroying fireballs in this week's Trials Challenge. This strategy will enable you to stack up well over 10k in points following a super simple rotation that any player can do. I recommend doing this on the electromagnetic storm event for Dam Battlegrounds, as you receive double trials points for eliminations and you will remain indoors for this entire rotation. There are two core areas where fireballs spawn frequently: water treatment and the research and administration buildings. You will simply run back and forth between these two areas and can eliminate fireballs as they respawn onto the map. There are two routes that you can take: the safer and longer route, or the riskier but much shorter run. The riskier run has potential to get you a higher score, but it's very dependent on a lot of RNG. Let's start with the safe route. Simply stay in the tunnels that connect the two buildings together and run between the two. You will want to go all the way into the main lobby of Research and Administration, as fireballs can spawn there as well as the area behind it that leads into the tunnels. The second area is water treatment, and there are two main areas fireballs spawn. The hallway that leads into the main entrance. This area has the security room in it. The volume of fireballs can vary from a single fireball up to 3 in each of these spaces, which can really accelerate your score for this week's Trials Challenge. The run between the two will drain your stamina bar about twice, so it can take some time, but if you bring some adrenaline shots, you can have the time it takes to get between the two major areas. Other ways you can optimize the run in the tunnels is to use zip lines on the longer hallways. While zip lines don't help you regain your stamina, they do help you cover a distance you otherwise would be walking by being out of it. You can also use an adrenaline shot on a zip line to recharge yourself if you want. In my runs, I found the tunnels to be fairly low traffic. Players only ducked into them for reprieve from the lightning strikes above. However, on just a regular night mode raid, I found many more players in the areas, which means much less enemies being spawned in. The riskier route involves taking the surface out of Research and Administration and running down to water treatment. This is a more direct path, reasonably faster to cross, saying you're not targeted by the bombardier spotters nearby, the hornets, the wasps, and the snitches that guard the water treatment's extraction, or even the leaper in the same area. Not to mention the handful of lightning strikes the game's going to put in front of you, being it's an electromagnetic storm. If you can avoid all of that drama, you do make the journey back to water treatment in considerably less time, which over the course of a 30-minute round can be the difference between 20 fireballs or 30 fireball eliminations. Again, all of this heavily relies on RNG. If there are many players in the area where fireballs spawn, obviously the game's not going to spawn a new set in until they clear out. This can be enough to offset your rotation once or twice. If the player population remains high after 1 to 2 passes, I recommend leaving and re-queuing for another run, saying the electromagnetic storm is still valid for you to queue into. The more time you have unbothered, the more likely you will get more spawns and more score to move yourself up the Trials leaderboard. Beyond that, the anvil is great for eliminating most fireballs in a single shot, and if you're a risk taker, you can use any light weapon and wait for the fireball to expose its core weak area and simply 2-tap it. Make sure you always loot them. You don't have to take the actual loot, but the 200 XP you get for searching them really adds up fast. That's going to be it for me today, y'all. Thanks for watching.